Did you get your drink and your snack? Maybe get a Valium? Or in my case, I probably need a coffee. ADHD, coffee calms me down.
Well, hello my lovely nestlings and welcome to another episode of Best of Beauty from Trash to Treasure, where I go over all the products that I have tried in the previous month, that I have an opinion upon, and they will be in a tier system. And if you're new, welcome. My name is Nikki. I'm 45 from the Netherlands, hence the accent. And if you want to be entertained, if you love unusual color combinations, and if you, I don't know, just want to hear about makeup, what works for an older skin tone, what makes you fabulous, what you kind of need to stay away from, then this is the channel for you. Subscribe now, become part of my nestlings, because we are having a blast here on the internet. Yes. Let me explain the video of today. I have a bunch of makeup products here in front of me that I have played with in December, and I'm going to give you my opinion on these. I have done videos with not all, but a few, and I will kind of mention when I have done a video. It's in a tier system, as I have said, and the tier system is as follows. The first tier is, hell no. I don't have to explain that, right? The next one is meh. And in meh are products that are better than, oh hell no. But they're basically, they're okay. They function, but they're nothing really to write home about. It's not something that you need to go out and buy right away, because otherwise
your life will suck for eternity.
You know, it's meh. Then the next category is the
Twilight Zone.
Let me explain it.
Twilight Zone.
It's basically products that are good products. There's nothing wrong with them. They work fine. They're okay. Then the next category is, these are amazeballs. And in the category amazeballs, products that are really, really good, that I would really recommend to you, but don't spend your last dime on. The next category, which is the last one, is you have to pry it out of my cold, dead hands. In this category are products that I would fight you for these. These are things that I would immediately repurchase, that I love so much, that I think that everyone needs to know about and everyone needs to get out and get. Basically, the products are not specifically ranked, but they can be kind of on the cusp of one tier or another, if that makes any sense. They're the bridge to the next one. But I have been rambling for far too long. Let's just go into the first category, which, yeah, unfortunately, I don't have anything in the oh hell no category this month, which is kind of weird. But it is what it is, so we're going to skip that category and we're going to go to the meh category. I have two products in this category. Let's start with this one, which is kind of, it may sound weird because it's a product that I use almost every time I do my makeup, but it's meh. And it's the Essence Lash Glue. Now, don't get me wrong, it's a very good lash glue. I like it as much as the Duo Glue that has replaced this. And the Duo Glue that I used, I think it was with the green lettering, which was the quick drying one with the brush. I really, really like that one. But at the end of the day, it's a lash glue. And that's the same with this. At the end of the day, it's a lash glue. It functions. It keeps my falsies on. But it's a lash glue. Yeah? So I'm not getting excited about a lash glue. Well, I'm getting sad if my lash glue doesn't function. But this is a lash glue that works very well. You don't need to go out and search for it immediately. You can get it here in store. And yeah, if you want to pay, if you want a cheap lash glue that works very, very well, drugstore option, this is a very, very nice one. The Essence Lash Glue, precise application. It is white with pink lettering. As far as I know, it's latex free. So that may be something for you. Yeah, I like it. But it's a lash glue, you know. The next product that I'm going to mention is something that I actually thought would rank higher, but I'm kind of meh about it. It's a good product. I like it. I like the color, but yeah, it's kind of meh. At least right now. It could be that in summertime, come summertime, I would grab for this a little bit more. So it could be a color thing. I don't know. But it's the Be Perfect Scorch Blush in Magma. I think it's because I thought it would be a little bit more of a shimmery blush. It's a pretty blush. It's a matte blush though. And the other one that I had was more of a satin finish. And I actually prefer a satin finish. This is more of a matte finish. Yeah, it's nice. And it's a nice color. But if I wear it, I'm like, it's a pretty blush. And when I open it up, I'm like, meh. So that's why it's here. So yeah, it's a nice formula, but I don't feel like you need to run out and buy this particular color, if that makes any sense. At least not if you're an olive, and I am a light warm olive, if I did not say so. If you're a very warm olive, then this may be very pretty on you. If you're a cool toned olive, you will probably look like you've been hit in the face. As happens to me if my blush is... I cannot wear a yellow blush, for instance, or a very yellow orange, because I look like I've been punched in the face. I can wear it, but I need to offset it with another cream blush, if that makes any sense. The next category... I'm rambling. Yes.
Did you get your drink and your snack? Maybe get a Valium? Or in my case, I probably need a coffee. ADHD, coffee calms me down.
Let's just say that. I also go to sleep if I drink Red Bull. I don't like Red Bull, but... I know. Yes. Let's go next to the next category, which is...
The Twilight Zone.
These are products that I really do like, that are really good, that really work for me. But they are just... They're good products. But... they're not in the next category for one reason or another. Let's just get into it. Okay, let's go to something that is here, and I will explain why. It's from Glam Shop, and it is their bronzer in the shade Olive. I love the formula and I love it now. So that is why it is in the Twilight Zone, because this is a color that is very light for me right now, which I like in wintertime. I like a very light bronzer. I can be a little bit more heavy-handed with this one, and I don't look like I have a bronzed face in the middle of a Dutch winter, you know. But when I am in summer, I cannot use this because you won't see it. So that's why it's here. If you are lighter than me, and for reference, I am in the Glam Shop shade. I have Olive 2 on my face right now that I need to warm up a tad because it's a little too neutral for me, but depth wise it is okay. When I first apply it, it's a little bit too light, but it oxidizes to my perfect color, so maybe that helps. Lisa Eldridge, I am shade 9 in depth. So I'm basically a light to light medium olive. Now that we're in winter, I'm on the light side of light medium, but I'm not light. I'm not the pale side of light. Does that make any sense at all? I don't know. It's a very subtle bronzer, which I like. So because I can only use it in a basically a smaller window of the year, it's here. Yeah. Let's next go to the next product, which is here, because I really like it, but there's a but. It's not a big but there's a but. And it's the falsies from Glam Shop. These are in the style Selena. Now I really like this style. I think they're nice and fluffy. They're nice and playful. I really like them. They have a clear band, which I also like. That's why I wanted to try them. They have a thick clear band, which is nice because they're very comfortable that way. And I think that I can wear them for a very long time because I can easily get the glue off of the silicone band that they have. The con of this is, and that's the reason that they are here, because it's a thicker silicone band, and I don't know if I can show you. No, not in the box. There I think you can see this. You can see the glossy stuff, right? That's the band. I kind of was hoping that I could use these without an eyeliner. I cannot. And I use these in combination with a dark glue. Because of the way that the band is, because there's a slight shine to it, you can see it when I wear them. If I don't use something dark underneath, and I actually paint my dark glue on top of the band of these falsies to make it darker. So I would actually have wished that the silicone would have been black instead of clear. Yeah. Because then I would just have to do on top, basically to mattify the band, I would have to put on top a little bit of eyeliner, and that is it. So yeah, that's the reason that they are here. Product that I'm going to mention is here, because it's a formulation preference thing. That is basically it. It's from Nabla. It's their 2 reasons in the shade Soft Nude. And it's a cream color and glassy balm for cheek and lips. The color, I love how this is looking. I love how sleek this looks. I love the color. I love the fact that you have a blush and a highlighter. That's basically how I use it in one. And it shows up very well. So this blush, it's very pretty on me as well. And then when I tap this one over I think I can also tap it on top of powder. Yeah, it does set. It doesn't really stay sticky for me, and it gives a very nice glow from within. The reason that it is here and not a category higher is because the formulation. So the formula of the blush is very stiff. And that's not, I like a cream blush that's more creamy. So for instance, the Colourpop Super Shocks are still creamy, even though they set on their own. They're creamier than this, and it's what I prefer more. So I feel like I have to basically dig the brush in that I'm using. I don't like to use it with my fingers and then tap it out. So I really love the color. I like to use it, but the formula is a little bit too stiff for my preference. That is it. If you want a formula that is a little bit stiffer, because I can still use it with a brush, I can still pick it up. I preferably have a brush like this, which is denser. I don't know how it is if you use your fingers to apply it, because I don't do that. But I think that the color is pretty, and it shows up very, very well for me. This is, I think it's the lightest shade, if I'm not mistaken. It shows up very well for me. The color is stunning. It's just a formula preference thing, and that is why it's here. I have one product that I put in the next category, which is Amazeballs, but it's kind of on the cusp, and it's also kind of a color thing. Let me explain. It's also from Glam Shop, and it's their olive cream bronzer. Now, can you see the depth of color? I really, really like this cream bronzer. I have been using this ever since I got it. I like it way more than the one from Anastasia Beverly Hills, because the one from ABH is way more yellow than this one. I just wish that it was maybe, for me, a hint deeper. A shade or two deeper. Why? Because I can use this now very well, and I have it on my face today and it's subtle. But when I am in summer, you won't see this, I think. So that is why it's on the border of
Twilight Zone
and Amazeballs. It's the bridge to Amazeballs, actually. If this will show up in summer, it's also a stiffer formula, by the way, like Nabla, but I don't mind it in a cream bronzer. If I can still make this one show up in summer, but I don't think so. So again, then it's a more narrow window that I can use it in, and that's the reason that it is a hint lower. But if you are paler than me, yeah, and I do swatch this in my bronzer declutter video, which if I don't forget, I will link it underneath the card. I think, is it a separate video? I think it is. Bronzer and highlighter, I think. Right? Yeah, bronzer and highlighter, and I swatch all my cream bronzers there in the beginning of the video. And I swatch this one to ABH and to all the other things that I had in my collection that were creams, in case you want to know how they look. Now I'm going to go to the Amazeballs category. The next products that I'm going to mention, they are just in the tier in and of itself. They are not ranked. I love them all equally. Let's start with these from Colourpop, which are the lippy pencils. I love the lippy pencils a lot. They are among my favorite formula. That's why they are here, but because they're not my absolute favorite formula, they are here. And these are the two shades that I ordered the last. The shade BFF and BFF 4. Yes, BFF is more of a neutral, nude, light. If I use it, because it's more on the neutral side, it turns a little bit pink, but it's not a pinky nude. So that's why I love this one a lot. I can swatch it. So when I put it on, it's just a neutral, basically a neutral nude, but when it kind of sets a little bit on me at least, or on my hand, it turns a little bit pink because of the oliveness. That is me. And then here is the other shade, which is more almost a neutrally slightly warm leaning brown, darker color. Yeah, I really, really love these. Then I also have from Glam Shop a lipstick in the shade Nude Glam. I love their lipstick formula. This is a more glossy lipstick, and I think it's very, very pretty. It's stunning. However, because it's a little bit more pinky than I go for right now, it's not in the you have to fight me, I will fight you to the death for it. Let me get a call. Then I'm going to show you one, but it's actually almost the complete collection, and it's from Alien Cosmetics. It's the Satin Liquid. Is it a Satin Liquid lipstick? I think so. I have one color here because they are all in my drawer. This is the color Jeanette, which I really, really do like. Now there are reds in there are funky colors in there are different types of nudes in there with kind of funky colors as well. There are a bunch of people who have done a lip swatching video on this as well. If you want to see an Olivie swatch this on her lips, go to my bestie DEBUTAWN and I will link her channel down below, because she has swatched them all and she is a light cool olive. So if you want to see how the colors look, go watch her video. I love this shade a lot and I have worn a bunch of these. I think that the formula is extremely comfortable. I actually have one on my lips right now that I made into a different color by putting a gloss on top, because otherwise you would see this exact same makeup look in 2 different videos, which was also in my whole video of December, but that's neither here nor there. So yeah, I think that these are very, very nice. Now you can get them in a bundle, you can get them separately as well. I got the entire bundle in PR and I do have an affiliate code with Alien Cosmetics, which is Nikki Raven. But if there is a color that you like, they don't completely dry down. Because it's more along the lines of a lip cream, but it's a very pigmented lip cream, so you don't have to keep on swiping. And if you feel like, I don't know, I haven't found that they went patchy, but if you feel that they do, you can kind of redistribute it with your finger a bit, because they don't completely dry down. They're very, very comfortable. They stay on for quite a while, and I really, really like it. There is one that I'm going to name extra a little bit later on though, but this, yeah, it was the shade Jeanette, and I really... yeah, they're here for a reason. The next thing that I'm going to mention, because now I'm going to mention a few eyeshadow palettes. The next eyeshadow palette that I'm going to mention is this palette from Gourmand Girls in collab with 3 amazing creators here online. Riri, and her channel name is The Brutally Honest Beauty. It will be linked down below. Then you have Zinja, her channel name is Adventures of Zinja. And then you have DEBUTAWN, and that's my bestie Debbie. I have actually done a collab with all the ladies on Debbie's birthday. It was the 30th of December that it went online. It is on my channel. If I have room to link it, I will link it. Otherwise, you will have to search my channel. There are discount codes for this palette, and I will link them down below as well, which are the discount codes of the ladies that collaborated on this palette. If you want this palette, go use one of their codes. This is the color story, which looks very wintry. So here you have the wintry, here you have more of the Christmassy. You can use it all year round. The mattes are very, very nice. They are very easy to work with. They are nice and buildable. The only thing though, for this purple in particular, if you want the purple to be very intense, use it as a first layer and build it up. So pack it on your eye. Make sure that your base is still a little bit sticky, because it can have a hint of trouble sticking. It's not uncommon with purples though, just so you know. But it's very nice and buildable, and I did not have any issues. I just had to build it a little bit more than other purples that I have in my collection. So it's just such a cool color story. And the fact that an indie brand collaborated with 3 pretty small creators, it's just, I really love what this palette stands for, and especially what it stands for me, what it means for me. Reconnecting with, well, with a sister that I have refound again. It's a very, very cool palette. Okay, and if you want to see it in action, go watch the video. Yes, let's go next to a palette that is on the cusp of amazeballs, and you have to pry it out of my cold dead hands. It's the first palette that I tried from this indie brand. I got it in PR. It's the first palette that I tried, and I was actually blown away. And it's this one from Saint Angel Synod. It's a Grateful Heart palette. I really like the outside. I'm very much into crocheting right now, and I love the outside. So with the granny squares. But this is the color story. When I saw this color story, I was immediately intrigued, because it's an interesting color story. The quality was so nice. So I started with the mattes. They were so nice. This shade stayed on my eye so beautifully. Usually it warps. It didn't. It was stunning. I also used a few of the shimmers. I used this shimmer in the inner eye part area. I used this one on the outer part. I think I used this one in the inner corner even. I don't remember. It could also be that I used it as a highlighter. I don't know, but the shimmers are stunning. All the shimmers have a shift except the shade Buddha. The shade Buddha is more, it's not a steel gray, but it's grayer than this shade. But then in the shimmer, it's a very, very unique color, and it's stunning. And the other shades, I don't know, maybe I can show you a little bit in the mirror. Let's see if I can show you the shifts a little. I hope so. Usually this works. they're just so stunning. It's such a nice quality. I have more from the brand. I got a whole bunch in PR. I cannot wait to try the other palettes as well. Spoiler, there is one other palette in this video that I will mention in just a minute. And I will link her brand down below. Yes. The next category is going to be the you have to pry it out of my cold dead hands. And I'm going to start with, let's start with random stuff and then end with eyeshadows because I can. Let's start with eye pencils. Let's start with these from Glam Shop. These? I need them all. There are a bunch of colored liners that they have released now in the white packaging within the colored bag. They are so good. I haven't tried this one yet. I have tried the other two. They stay in the waterline all day. They are very, very creamy. These two have a slight sparkle in them, which I really, really like. I love the color because this color for me, it's just the perfect, when I'm basically using a chartreuse. This is a light green, but on me, it pulls chartreuse. So I have an eye pencil that is the color of it's the color of my nails almost. It's the color of a chartreuse in the pan. And I love it. This shade as well, the Burgundy, they are just so I think they are my favorite formula right now. I have a favorite pencil that nothing can top, but that's the pencil, that's the color. But if Glam Shop makes a very dark teal,
hold me back and take my wallet because I will need that one.
They are that good. They are truly, truly the bee's knees. Okay, let's next go to something that's pretty random, which is a brush. It's from Colourpop. It's their fluffy brow brush. I believe this. When I make another Colourpop order, I need more of these because I need a backup for when I ultimately break this, because I know it will happen. This one, my brows look fluffy, but they're not really. My brows are very rambunctious. I don't have a lot of brow hair. So if I use a spoolie to kind of try to get my brows into position, it does not work. Because a spoolie, it's not stiff and hard enough.
That's what she said.
Yes, I'm well aware. This is. So it's kind of the same thing as what's on the back of pencils. So here I have one of the micro pencils and then I have a very short, stiff spoolie, which is almost, it kind of makes me think of the pipe cleaners, you know, tobacco pipe, you know, the smoking pipe, and then cleaners for that. It kind of feels as stiff as that, but not as spiky. And yeah, this for me, I first put in my kind of brow glue product and then I brush it through with this and it keeps them in shape all day. So this brush, if you have sparse, is that the correct term? Sparse hairs, right? Sparse, yeah. Or you have rambunctious ones that you kind of need to plaster. This brush will help with that so much when you are working in your eyebrow product. Honestly, yeah, I need more. Then what I'm going to mention now, which could also be the winner, but I want to end with eyeshadow palettes. This is the shade. This is the shade from Alien Cosmetics or Unearthly Cosmetics from their liquid lipstick line that I love. It's the shade Eva. And Eva is Eve or Eva in Dutch. And my youngest niece is called Eva as well, so that's fun. I have it on my lips today. I just chucked on a lip gloss in the shade, what was it? Shade Cider, I believe, from Alien, which isn't in the video because I want to rank the complete collection. But this is the shade that I have up top. And it's a very, very pretty combination, actually. But this shade, I want to keep on using it. It's my favorite. This is the shade that I want to use when I'm doing a blue eye look. For instance, this is a shade that goes with almost any eye look that I create. It's not a neutral, or maybe it is a neutral nude for me. It's not an olive, but it's, I don't know, it's just stunning. What can I say? It's stunning on me. It truly, truly is. Now I'm going to go to eyeshadow palettes. And let's start with a palette that needs to be here. Just when you see it, you know why it's here. It's this one from Barry M. It's the Wildlife Bumblebee palette. Bumblebee. Can we? Yes. His butt is bigger, but that's, yeah. Packaging and theme. That's why it's here. Now, when you open her up, this is the color story. So it's not really what I would have, it's not what I expected to find inside the palette. It's a little bit too safe. Maybe that's the correct word. This is it's a warm leaning palette, and I get it. And it will be an everyday palette for a lot of people. And I have tried it because I want to see what the formulation was like. And the formulation is very, very nice. So if you're like, oh, I want that Bumblebee palette, but I'm afraid that the formulation sucks because it's so cheap. Well, it doesn't. It's a nice formula. The mattes are very, very easy to work with. They're pretty nice and pigmented, at least for my skin color. And the shimmers are very, very pretty. They are also a little bit on the drier side. So not as creamy as a lot of indie brand shadows. But I like that because they do stay on longer for me. They are maybe not as foiled, but they're still very, very pretty, especially if you have textured lids. So it's a very, very nice palette overall. Will I use it a ton? I don't think so. But I knew that. But I just needed it because it had a bumblebee on the front. And I supported the bumblebee population in the UK then, but still we need more bumblebees. We need more bees because if they don't exist anymore, we have nothing to eat. That's the gist of it. And I just love bumblebees. Bumblebee butt cannot be big enough for me. It's just, so this is going to go on display. But yeah, what can I say? It's a bumblebee. It needs to be in the, I will fight you for this. Yes. So, you know, it will go there. Maybe then maybe then my camera will stop focusing on the freaking lamp and maybe it will focus on the gorgeousness that is me, which it should, but maybe
I'm too sexy for my camera.
I'm so glad I don't take myself too seriously. But anyway, let's go to the eyeshadow palettes that I have left. And it may come as a surprise. So I know one won't, but the rest will very much come as a surprise. So let's start with actually the winner of the video then. To get it out of the way, because I kind of want to keep the suspense for the other two palettes that I will mention. Let's get to the best release. It was also mentioned as an honorary mention in my best releases of 2021, and it's the Sigil Snake palette. I know she's sold out currently. I know that a lot of people are very, very sad about it. She will restock. She will. I don't know when, but she will. Don't forget, she is a Russian-based indie brand. And she's also waiting on her, I can say ground fabrics, but that's the literal translation of the Dutch word. So that's not good. Ingredients. Is that it? Raw materials. That was the word I was looking for. She needs her raw materials. Otherwise she cannot make the shades, right? But yeah, here it is. I created 2 looks in the video. I wanted to do more, but I didn't have the time right then. You know what? Basically, this shade actually reminds me of a scarab beetle. That's what it reminds me of. The looks I did, they were stunning. The palette was very, very easy to work with. For me, at least. How did I did I dig my nail in? No. How did I use the palette? I actually started with the shimmer and then blended it out with a matte. So, for instance, I started with this shade in one of the looks and I blended it out with this one. When I used this shade, did I lay down? I think I laid down the matte first though, or didn't I? I know that there are some people who are having trouble with this one creasing. I don't remember having that one. However, I do know that I packed it on top of this one. So this one was on the lid first, at least in my lower crease. So where does shadows crease for me? They crease here, just above my nail. Can you see when I do that? Can you see the folds that I have there? That's usually where it creases. And that's also where, especially when I have a creamier shadow, I put the matte on. I don't remember having creasing. I also don't have creasing with this one, which is very, very nice. I know it can happen though with this palette, and the owner has also said so. Tammy Tanuka also said so that it can happen with this, and she's trying to minimize it for the next palette, but she doesn't know if she's able to because she doesn't really know why it is happening. It is something to do with the ingredients, I believe, but I'm actually not sure. So yeah, but trust, when I say that if you just put this one all over your lid and then this one in the inner corner, it's still stunning as hell. So just saying, yeah, this is a palette. I am going to rank my Sigil palettes soon. I don't know how it will rank then, but I think that currently this is my favorite of my Sigil palettes that I have. And I have all the egg palettes in my possession. So yeah. Now I'm going to go to the palettes which are, you still have to pry these out of my cold dead hands, but these will be very, very surprising for you. So that's why, yes, itchy eyeball. That's why I wanted to keep them for last. Let's start with this one, which is, it's a collaboration palette. Still think the collaboration is weird AF, but I'm, as you know, a sucker for packaging, and I liked the show. But for this particular palette, what I really liked was the outside of the palette and the color story. That's what got me right now, instead of just the outer palette, as was with the child palette. And I really like the color story of that one as well. But I also have it because it's a green color story. I'm going to talk about this one, The Mandalorian. I love the artwork. It's still a weird collab, but I love the artwork. And I really love the fact that what you see on the outside is what is inside the palette. So here is the inside of the palette. This is a palette that is basically in my, I almost want to say everyday drawer. I have a place where I store the palettes that I reach for the most when I'm not filming. And this is included in there. When I saw this color story, it was just, it immediately grabbed my attention. Because it's a neutral color story, yes, but they put a mustard yellow in. That mustard yellow got me. And then the center shade. And then combining it with the gray. But also the fact that there are neutrals in here, so a few of the warmer neutrals, but also the cooler. Now the center shade is very reminiscent of a shade from That Time of Year palette, the one that I swatched. So I have also swatched the center shade of this one. So it's the same type, and that type of shade gets me every single time. But this one is more grungy. So this one has more along the lines of a brown base. And the other one is more of the happy, when you combine this one with the purple though, oh, it's so stunning. Yeah, but this, and I really, really love the formula of this one as well. What can I say? It's here for a reason. It's one of my favorites. The next palette is a palette that's pretty new to my collection. And this is, sometimes it happens that you play with a palette once and you immediately know. And that's what happened with this palette. Oh, it's going to surprise you so much. It surprised me too. It was PR. It's again from Saints, Angels, Sinners, and it's the New Year palette. Yeah, let me show you the color story. This is the color story. So it's a pretty basic color story, right? But still, when I saw this, I was like, this is so pretty. It's so pretty. There are 3 mattes in here, and then there are 2. Well, there's one one shimmer, a flake, and a few gorgeousness looks. So what do I have on my eyes today? It's this palette. Yes, it is. I used all the mattes, and the mattes were so nice. They were so nice to work with. I started with the darker brown, which I built up a bit. It's maybe not as deep as I wanted it, but it gives me a very nice contour of the eye. I blended it out with this shade, which was still very stunning, and I deepened it up with the black a bit. Gorgeous. Then this shimmer went on top, and that's what I got. But also the other shimmers. This is a flake, but it is just so freakishly stunning. This is a duochrome. This is a duochrome. I was actually very surprised that I put this palette here. But this is a palette that I really want to play with. The color story. I'm going to swatch the flake. Oh, yeah, it's a flake. And I'm going to swatch the shade Champagne. Because I can. You cannot see it on my hand. I'm terrible at swatching on my hand. But yeah, it's here. Trust, it's here for a reason. And I don't know if I will film with this palette. But I will certainly love it and use it a lot in my off days. And this, yeah, I cannot wait to try the rest of this palette as well. And then that was it for today. Yes, let me know down below if you have any of the goodies that I mentioned, and yeah, let me know some of your favorites. I'm going to thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down in the comment section below. I'm going to wish you a fantastic day, a fabulous evening. May your foundation always match your neck, and I will see you very soon in my next one. Bye guys.